So, good morning, good evening, and welcome everyone to this session. I'm super excited to show you guys what we've been doing. And before I get started, I wanted to give you guys a brief of how we came about doing this. Good afternoon. So, in terms of writing, we've always been trying to mimic human path, right? Like we've been trying to mimic humans, how they would go and create content. Sure, GPT-3 kind of introduced that aspect of writing the content for you, but it's not there yet, right? Like the research is still mandatory. You still need to go find information that you want to include in the content and then write content. So in order to do that, we build out concepts a couple of releases ago where we can go and extract that research with automation without reading it. So essentially what you read and extract and keep it in your mind and then write around it is what we automated in the first step. Now in the second step, what is the second step, right? Like taking that research and then constructing an entire section from. That's what a human would do, right? So we've tried to mimic that. It now not saying that's 100%, right? Like, but what we've been trying to achieve is whether can we get it close to 80 to 85%, so that 15% remaining is added value, platform recommendations, and some of your own print, right? To adjust the content and get it to rank up. So we've tried to mimic that, and that's exactly what led up to the event. And before even we start with first draft, we've been trying many things before with outline creation. And SERP outlines is still the number one go-to. But what if we could add an extra layer on top of it that adds a little bit of creativity, uses the keywords that you need to target, infuses some outline concepts into the outline building process, and automate as much as it can as well. So we've tried to mimic all of that. And that's what this release is really about, which is considered premium draft. And so let's get started here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So how do you go about creating an outline, right? So we've always recommended that you create your high level outlines using related keywords, right? So that's exactly what we build into our H2 ideas now. So when you create an H2 idea, it's infusing related keywords information, your title, and a few other things in order to help you build out that initial high level outline. So what is a B2B funnel? What are different types of B2B funnel? How to build a successful B2B funnel, the benefits of using B2B funnel, how to optimize your B2B funnel, right? So these are like all really high level ideas that you can start creating content around. But your job is not done yet, right? Like you still need to go ahead and elaborate upon each of these concepts. So you can see that it started targeting some of the keywords that we've given it here. So obviously you still need to go ahead and optimize it and make sure that you include some of it or most of these keywords in here, but it sort of did 50% of the job, right? Now let's go to highest frequency keywords. Now it only included a couple here, right? So now our job is to build upon this topic. So how do you build a B2B sales funnel, right? Like that could be one of the primary things that we want to answer and elaborate upon. So you can click on H3 ideas and it will use top from highest frequency keywords, or you can also call it Google NLP data and build out your H3 idea. So let's just give it a quick second here. All right. So there we go. All right. So it's trying to really think and build out this amazing outline. So establish your actions, identify your product and solution, generate interest and skills, nurture the solution, convert the leads to customer, evaluate the purchase, achieve your business goal. Well, it would take you at least 10 to 15 minutes to come up with something like this, right? So you can see the kind of outline that now generates is really on target and it really tries to be creative. So not only you are adding value, but you're also targeting the right types of keywords. So automation, all the way and just, kind of giving you guidance on optimizing as it. So this is perfect. Now I have an outline that I can create content around. Let me delete a few for the sake of moving with speed over here. And you can see that it started targeting some of the other keywords. So as you elaborate upon these concepts and justify the depth that you really need for the content, it will automatically start targeting some of these keywords in the air. And then you can quickly optimize the small things that were left out. Okay. Now that you have an outline, what is a premium draft? So premium draft, a small option that you see over here with the crown icon, it's premium draft. What we did before was we extracted information that we wanted to create. And then we use modular approach to building out certain sections of certain smaller blocks of content in your entire section. And that was still a little time because it was still getting you moving along and still getting the AI to write about things that you wanted to write about and steer away, keep it on target, like at least keep it on focus and keep writing what you really want. What we really did was now we are using all of those concepts and we built an internal engine that can sort of concise it and then influence the AI to build out the entire topic. Now, not only that, we infuse it now with tone of voice as well. So if you want to be more conservative, you want to be more persuasive, you want to be more sarcastic, you want to have a negative tone to it, you can do all of before the output is built out. And the way you can do that is by just closing the window before you generate your premium draft and adding your tone of this is set to friendly right now. You can add a different tone of voice. So now what it'll do is think about this. Yeah. It's not only going and extracting all the information, but now it is concising it. It's understanding the relevant concepts out of it and then influencing the AI to build an entire paragraph with the tone of voice that you really want to create content. So we're back. Yep. There we go. All right. So we open. So I hope you guys understand. You can infuse your tone of voice. This is really, really, really important. So if you're writing UK English, you could, UK English in your tone of voice, and it will now talk in UK English. So you can make those creative adjustments in your tone before you generate the output. Now, let's go ahead and click on generate outline. Since we have created premium draft, so we're collecting the research and we are creating the first draft for you, right? So it's doing the research now, then it's going to come up with those concise concepts, summarize them, and then pass it on to GPT-3 for us to write this essentially what a human would do. Right? Sure, it's not going to be 100%, but we are getting to 80, 90%. Let him give it a cut. So while this is generating the first draft, and it can be like 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how long your outline is, how much thinking it has to do, and what sort of content it is reading, how much the depth of the content is, right? Like it could be shorter, it could. Now, while this is generating the first draft, let's move on and let me show you some other ways that you can use premium draft as well. And we'll read as soon as this is generated, right? So let's go back. I will switch over to a example. Now, the second example here, what I did was we created the outline the same way that you would. There's an outline over here. I'm talking about best doc for Chew. So I found a product on Amazon that I wanted to write about. And you could potentially have a product around anything or pretty like software product will also work in this case. So you can go grab information of that software product, elsewhere as well. So let's say now I want to create this, but I want to take a modular approach. Like I know that this product does not exist anywhere in search engine. This is a product that I am using and potentially a new topic, like a new discovery, a new keyword that you're going after that not many people have. And you want to create premium drafter. That's going to be a little challenging, right? So that's why we gave you granular control. So there's a couple of ways you can approach to this sort of content creation. You can remove the ones that you want to add later on, like as an added value or the custom products that you want to add for the later use and generate the entire first draft. Or you can skip the first draft for right now and go to no draft and create outlines. Now what it did was it created an outline, but it did not do the research for you, right? So now if you wanted to do the research and write for you, you can still do white outline and you can just click on draft. Now, when you do this, it will automatically research the concepts. It will bring out the concepts and it will also write the paragraph for you. So let's just give it a second while it builds out that paragraph. And now you can see that it just did that. And this is perfect because it's tone of voice and everything, right? Now, let's look at a different. Now, let's say you want to create content for this topic, but you want to take a little granular approach, right? Like you want to infuse some of your own information in it. You also want to extract concepts from the ranking pages so that it can help you build out this section with as easy as possible. So in that case, you can choose the template that you want, right? Like it doesn't really matter. It kind of depends on the kind of content that you're trying to build. So we're going to say related for this and say generate concepts on it, right? So now it and extract that information from CERT data and so do the research for us, like just the thing that we, okay, all right. So now we have the concept, right? And what are the best toys for chewers, right? Like now you want a little granular control. Like you don't want to talk about Kong. You don't want to talk about and some of those other things that are being pulled out in here, right? So now you can have a little granular control. Delete this, and delete a few other things that you don't add a few other things that you do in the. So now you can add any custom data that you want to it. You can then build out your first draft. So now if you build your first draft, it will only use the existing concepts that are in here in this list, right? So now it's giving you like total freedom over how much content you want to pass it, how much content do you want GPT-3 and help you build out this section. That's you can infuse your own information while building out this first draft in a granular approach if you wanted to as well. And that's easy as that. So premium drafts do take just a little because they're using some extremely powerful AI models. Okay, there we and you can see now we don't have any mentions of Kong or Nyla in it, right? Let's keep going here. Now, this is a more complex example. This is where we're actually fetching the data. So what I did was about this product, I just copied and pasted the information that I found in Amazon in here, right? Now, I want to build out the main section around that information. But then I also want to mention why I dislike this toy and why I like this. So essentially pros and cons. And you can replicate this across any niche that you are working with just fine, right? So let's go ahead and just do the normal related research here, concept generate. And then we'll open this up and you can see that I have pasted in here negative testimony that I found. It was extremely negative, and it contains some unsafe word. That's fine. We still have a few concepts to build the content. Similarly, what I've done here is I have used a positive testimony to say what I do like about this toy, right? And you can dump as much data as you want in here, up to 1,800 characters. That is a lot of information that you can add in to build up, significant amount of content that you are trying to. So now what we'll do is we'll select, because we're talking about dislikes, we want to extract negative sentiments around it. And you can extract those negative sentiments. You can be a little granular, right? That's why I am showing this approach. And there are some unsafe words in it, which I did not look at before, but all right. So let's go ahead and see if I want to build out a small draft around this. There we go. Is here. There we go. So I've tried so you can see that now it's why I dislike this toy. So now it started talking about I have tried this, right? Like you can change the tone that is being picked up in any of this heading and make and steer the content to go in the direction that you to go. So it can be really creative based on the tone and the kind of content that you're trying to write, and it can understand many of this related information by itself. Now, let's go back to the first, which we were trying to create content around, and it helped us build out the first draft, right? And look at this. What's really good about it is that if it does not find any information, it's not going to give you. And that is the beauty of that. Just means that we analyzed all the content that we were looking at in the search data, and we did not identify anything that was relevant to this topic. This essentially tells you two things: that change your content strategy or go find information that's relevant to this and build your first draft around it. But it sort of did the foundation building. It answered the question, then it elaborated upon it. It answered the question. It elaborated here because there was no question here. And you can see the kind of quality output that it is producing here. There we go. So if we are doing how to build, it's sort of giving you an highlight and you can adjust this content to meet the headline that you enter and be on your way, right? So the point is to really create some amazing content really fast and then adjust it to perfection before launching it live. This is premium draft potentially. Okay. And now let's look at a few other things that we have done quickly. First thing, now you can favorite any of your workflow requirements. So let's say if you consistently work with content brief, you consistently work with optimization, related keywords and topic, you can see that now they'll all be under this. So you don't have to constantly juggle through many of these tabs in here and just identify things from right here and start using it. So a little productivity hack, right? Like you can create your own set of tools and you can also bookmark categories of methods too that you work with. So it can be like really customizable. Okay. Then now let's go to this another part, which is potentially one of my favorites. And I know how I am going to be using it. And I've already used it multiple times to increase our traffic in just the last 5 days. But if you use it with all its power, you will outrank your competition in matter of days. I'm not saying like super competitive niche. Like we want to be mindful of that. Not every keyword is treated equally, but you can do a lot of things. So let's go ahead and go to optimization, and we'll go to links. Right. So before we had inbound links, right? The first thing we made an adjustment here. So now even if you give the high level sitemap, which might have like 10 or different 10, 15, 13, doesn't really matter how many other sitemaps in it, like sub sitemaps, it can go and read links in any of sub URLs. So you will get all the links that are on your website currently on your sitemap in here. And this data is refreshed every 3 days. So it stays relevant, right? And you can still extract the right information from it. Now, let's go ahead and look at a few other things in here that we've done. So if I was trying to optimize this content for SEO content, which is not SEO content, this is not our niche, right? But I want to identify what URLs are in my content that has SEO content in it, right? So I can identify those. Um, since this is internal outbound link, that means you are putting this links in your content, giving it to other topics on your page. You want to be giving it to the lowest or lower page rank pages to help them, improve in ranking. So that's why it's starting off with 0, and then it's going up to a certain some more pages which have higher page rank. So you want to be focusing essentially on the top parts if you want to increase other pages of your website rank better. But all right, so that's still straightforward. What's not straightforward is this. So inbound internal link suggestion. This is something that is going to be super, super, super powerful if you really want to create content. And let's see how this really works, right? So I'm going to use Outranking as an example right now. SEO slash SEO dash content. Right. Okay. And we'll just copy this keyword in here and paste it in here. So what I am really trying to do is identify pages on my website where I can give this page that I'm currently working on link from. If I do that, if I identify the right pages with the right relevancy and higher page rank, what can happen? Just imagine what can happen. You essentially steer your content away from needing backlinks for a very long time. You can do this and improve your rankings very, very, very fast by finding the right pages to give it link from. This is super powerful. And even when your content lacks the depth, this can really help you identify those pages. So now this is a little reverse, right? You want to be linking this page from other pages with higher page rank. Only then you can improve the rank of this particular page. So it's now identifying the top pages with relevancy and their page rank. So you know exactly which pages will make sense for you to link and, improve the ranking of this particular. This is a single most trick that everybody should use in every content that you guys publish. This will get you moving in SERP faster. It will get your website indexed faster, and it will get many of your pages. Like if you just keep repeating this practice again and again, many of your pages will rank much, much, much faster and in a stronger sense. So if your page is also losing a rank, you can take a tactic to kind of push it back up and stay there, right? So use this method and keep using everywhere on your website. Um, this is the third enhancement that we made. And the last part of enhancement, there are also some many, many small enhancements in UX and stuff that you've seen. But the last part of enhancement is the learn library, and this will get bigger and bigger as we keep adding more and more content here. So we've started adding tons and tons of video here. My screen's freezes, but there we go. We've started adding tons and tons of videos here that you can have access to for doing multiple things here. You can access bootcamp sessions, so you can understand everything, how they work, and just kind of go through the day and the descriptions here to see what is the best fit and what you're trying to learn. Also, the entire documentation is in the app as well. So you can access the documentation, how credit consumption works, how user settings work, how FAQs work, right? Like all of it will be accessible from the app. And this is where I'll start. We can start taking questions, Natalie.
How do you connect the links internally?
Really depends on what type of internal link, right? Like, so I explained there are two types, which is one is the links that go out of your content. And that's simple, right? Like you go here and let's say you want to add this particular link on some of these things, right? So like, let's say I want to add a link. Let's click that and it is telling me where this word is. So not that I want to add it here and I want to add this link to it, just copy and paste it and add it. You can also do manual addition by selecting and going in here and adding a link and just paste the link in here and you are all set. This is for adding links that go, and for links that come in here, you need to do the same thing that I showed you here manually on other pages. And those pages are this pages. So if you want to improve your ranking really fast, you need to give this page link from this pages that Outranking is recommending. So you can open that page up, identify where we have mentioned where you can link it, and it's kind of showing you the paragraph too, which might be relevant to it. So it's not showing exactly the top of the content, it's showing the relevant passage out of it. So find this passage and add a link somewhere here about this, and that's how you would links coming in to your content.
Also, Malcolm is asking, can you input 100% your own outline and have Outranking write the article?
Yes, absolutely. You can take the same method that I was showing earlier, is go to this section and start adding your own H2s, right? And when you need H3s, you can start adding more H3s in here and just copy and paste your outlines in here. Once you have that, you can have Outranking do the research for you and write based on AI. And if you just want to plainly write like based on AI and nothing from SERP concepts, you can click on auto write first draft. This consumes a lot less characters because it's not reading through existing data. And then you can select the setting of AI draft and snippets, either or, right? Like if you do key points, it's going to extract information from SERP data and show you those information. But if you do AI draft, it's just going to use AI to build out the content. So essentially, you do this on any other platform, which is like just using GPT-3s and the 10% of the web brain with probability game in it, then it's AI. So this is essentially going around and doing the same thing that many other products are doing. But if you want to take it up, a step further, extract information and then build out an entire paragraph around it, then you use Premium Draft.
Next question, how accurate is AI content? How much fact checking does it need?
It needs very little to no fact checking. Absolutely. And what that really means is that unless you're doing something really absurd in terms of writing the outline, right? Like your outline is very vague or it's not pulling the right content. Well, even if it's pulling the right, not the right content, it will still be on facts, right? So no matter what, it is still extracting the facts and writing content around it. The amount you're gonna have to read the content. Absolutely, that's mandatory for anything. I'm not gonna recommend anyone that just copy and paste the content on the web and publish it. That's not what this AI Premium Draft is for. You're gonna have to read through the content, but it is gonna be, I would say, 99.9% accurate in terms of facts because it is using facts, it's extracting facts and using facts to build out this content, not anything else.
And I love the session that we've done a couple of days ago. And I think Dewey provided a really tricky keyword that we were writing around and testing this premium draft with. And something around like taxes for employees and like the requirements were different from last year. So it was very, very specific. And once you build out your outline, the premium draft created is on like basically on point, right? Like it was on point, and Dewey was complaining in the beginning, like the the outline, this is not right, this is not right, right, because you're creating the outline and you are showing like what the draft needs to be around and what's right and what's not right. But then once you create the outline, the rest is much easier.
Yes, absolutely. And the best part about premium draft is it's not going to give you crap. If it does not find any facts that it can influence the AI with, then it's going to give you no information, which I showed earlier, right? That's the beauty of it. That just kind of tells you that, hey, there's nothing here, good, at least. How about you go and find that good information and then dump it in that, edit functionality and generate concepts or write first draft after that. So it kind of gives you that leverage. And I'm pretty sure, like for any niche, right? So I created a pillar page a couple of days ago with the 38 H2s and H3s, right? Like that's insane. And it took about 8 minutes to generate that entire draft. And I could say that it needed about 15 to 20% more additions in terms of examples, images, and some minor tweaks in content to make it flow better. But it would have taken me at least 2 to 3 days to build out those 9,000 words, which were very carefully crafted, which were very carefully researched. And there's just no match for human eyes there. It would take long, long time to read through so much content and build out your entire blog post.
I want to use premium draft for existing SEO document. How can I do it?
So for existing SEO documents, you're going to have to take a granular approach, right? So what you essentially have is a document. So you're going to have to import the document. And once you import it in here, don't use AI Wizard just yet, right? Import the content and then score your content first, right? So go to optimization, then, and you can see that as we start writing this first draft, it is really going and improving the score is already great over here. So that's exactly what's going to happen here as you start building out a proper outline. Most of these things are going to be catered to. But let's say you have an existing topic and you want to use, outranking premium draft to add more value on top of it. Address some sections that you have not. In that case, you'd identify the sections that you want to go after by looking at some of this NLP terms and related keywords data. If there's something missing that you need to create content around, add those, and this is how you add it. So you just go and there's a blank one right here. So add topic to outline, just add your outline that you want to write around, open it up and see if there's any research that you can pull out automatically. If you can, then you can create first draft right from here. And even if you just click on first draft, if it finds the information, it'll just go and build it out. But the reason why we've given here, the granular approach to draft over here, so that you can extract concepts first and then influence the AI to write around it. And that can mean that you have a say in how this premium drafts are built upon. If you want to be a little granular, if it is a nuanced topic that there's not much content out there and you need to put your own research. So you can add your own research in here and it can take up to 1800 characters if you don't want to use SERP data. Also, something else to notice here is that you can add your own research URLs, right? So you can add as many URLs as you want in this feature over here, and then turn off everything that you don't want Outranking to read while building out the first draft. And it can even go do that. So it'll just go use the topics that you've suggested and just use that to help you build out, the entire premium draft. So you have no problem in doing that. Um, Now, it will also like we made some minor adjustment here, and it's the adjustment is that if you add any of the custom pages in here and hide any pages from there in your outlines over here, you will see that reflection. So you will see those custom outlines, and you will see the ones that you did not need go away from here. So you can be more concise. So that's for like getting a little granular and controlling how this, entire process works.
So there's a question about the credits as shown in the pricing page. It is not the same as one word because one word is 5 characters. So that's how you count. So if the pricing page is saying, I don't know, 100,000 credits, that means that you divide that by 5 because there's an average in English language, there's an average 5 characters per word. And so that's how you calculate words.
Right. And see, if you don't need more documents and you are on any of these plans, right? And you don't documents, but you need more AI characters, we have add-ons that you can purchase and that will not expire, right? Like move with you in the next month and it'll just roll over whatever is unconsumed. So you can use that. So if you're really using it for premium draft, any tiers are not going to be enough to create the full capacity of topics or articles that have been allocated with you. It's impossible. It requires a lot of processing. So that's why we have this feature of added credits, just in case if you run out of it, you can purchase them.
We're going to answer a few more questions in about 10 minutes. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about some additional credits and how you can get the daily credits to Outranking account. Bob is asking, he was trying to find this list of tomes and had no luck. He was talking about adding more the search function into our learn section.
Yes, we need to link that in there, but
Yes, so we have the search function. It's just that post is not on the in the learn
yeah.
section. We'll add it. It's a blog post on our website, but
Yeah.
we'll add it to the learn section. That's why you were not able to find it. Here's a question. So he, our user is looking to create 15 articles with about 2,000 words each. Will his 1 million credits be able to create this roughly in a month?
I think so. I believe so. It should be anywhere close to it. If not, that should be easy.
Javier is asking, how do we determine page rank?
So PageRank it's using the same algorithm that Google PageRank is using, right? And there are tools and utilities that calculate this, and we dig to them to get that data out and find out the pages that we want. So essentially, we are finding out the relevancy first of the pages, and then asking additional APIs which are scoring each page in terms of
If you pull a headline from a competitor, does Premium Draft go check other search results as well, or does it only search info within that article?
uh, if you pull in headline from a SERP competitor, if you have exact to exact, then the premium draft doesn't have any reason to go look anywhere else, right? It's going to find that. But let's say if you have what is content marketing, but in the SERP data, there was only one topic which was closely associated with this, which is benefits of content marketing. They're slightly different, uh, but one could have information from that benefit. So what it'll do is that in that case, it will read through that information and extract that in here from it, right? So if you're using your search competition, then that's fine. And if it's exact, then it will automatically pull that out. But if it is not exact, then it will try to look for other ones which are closer. If it does not find anything closer, then what it's going to do is it's going to find semantically related terms. It's going to find out meanings from those sentences and identify the right paragraph that we need to extract information from and do all by itself. So the the reason why we automated this is because it's important to look for the right amount of density and the topic depth that we are scanning through. So if we don't find any good content with anything that suggests that there is a good amount of information here, then it will exclude that even if it is a match, and we'll look for another one. So it's quite complex in terms of how it pulls out. It's really trying to pull out the information which will have the most amount of depth and relevancy.
There are a few questions about the same topic, local SEO optimization for geographic keywords.
Mhm.
Is there a
Is
technique
there
for local optimization?
absolutely right? Like, well, use the outranking to do this. And what you can really do is now that you have control over cities and even the cities that you want to target. So like click on advanced settings and type in the city that you want. Like I can type Boston here, and you can create a document around this city. And when you go in there, all the suggestions that Outranking will generate will be for that local optimization. So use that and you should be fine. So a process is not different, just the minor tweak that you have to make when you come to the new document creation, just select the exact location.
Next question is, let's say that the blog generated is perfect and the client liked it. Do we still need to do another like 5-10% of just for Google not to consider this as a content 100% generated by?
No, Karen. So it really depends on whether you are content with the things that were produced and whether you can go to bed at night, right? Like not thinking about this. But um, I have written, and we can show you plenty of examples I've shared in the group where our topic is like dominating for AI SEO related all keywords in Google, all for featured snippets. And I have mentioned it exclusively many times in that topic that this was created using AI. 80% of it was created using AI. And this was even before concepts, right? So now it is much, much, much more powerful in terms of what it does. So I don't think so. But what I would recommend is that you do go and read through it and add additional value, and value in terms of any videos you can find which are a great fit, any images that you can find which are great examples of what you're trying to demonstrate. Um, and just depth, right? Like be informative, be helping. And I think any of your topics will rank. So if your client likes it, then you can move on. But I would say just add a little bit of more value so you can really wow them.
Michael experiencing problem with indexing specifically. Indexing articles, he's saying even after 6 months, some of them were not indexed.
Internal linking. And internal linking, what I mean by is inbound internal linking. Give your topics which are not ranking links from pages which are ranking or being indexed, right? Use that tactic and Google will find your page soon.
How can I see how much characters a document's used?
So it's not per document, but there is a total history. And you can go to your settings and you can go to consumption and you can sort it by character. So you can say apply and it will show you how many characters each of those paragraphs or each of those calls we made to AI consumed. So you can go through all of these information. It's right here. Quick transfer.
All right. I remember seeing something like a document is stuck at 98%.
Yeah, that problem is solved. There might be some small bugs related to this new release, right? And the one more patch is going up in the night. But that 98% problem is solved. So you can just click on that document and refresh the data from here, and it will just go in and change that data up and fetch new information if it is not loading. So that should solve the problem.
Brian is asking, are we using AI credits if premium draft does not find information?
If it does not find information, then there is no credit consumed.
Can you go over the new methods that are coming?
There's a few. There's a few for product pages. There's a few for there are SEO ones, and there are quite related to copywriting. Some social media as well, but we're not heavy on social media. Not going to focus much. It's some things. Yes, mostly focused on web pages. So anything that goes on the website that needs to be discovered.
Giovanni is saying, sign me up. Let's talk about the pricing, Pankil.
Right. So we've updated our pricing, and we understand that there are quite a few people are finding it difficult to understand like how credit consumptions work based on consumption. So we changed it up a little bit, and now we have three types of pricing. This is 10 documents, 25 documents, 50 documents. If you need anything more, happy to reach out to us, and then we can come up with something which is a bit slightly better. We also have a comparison of the table. So we are going to see some pushback here, but it's honest to God comparison. Feel free to check it out and see which tools you can check off the list to Outranking.
So Kristen is asking, how do we earn credits? Let's talk about that. So we have something new cooking for you. We decided to give you guys a chance to earn those credits. Let me pull up my document here. So we decided, well, originally we're talking about 5,000 credits per day that we can give you guys, but we decided to bump it up and make it, I think it was 20,000 AI credits, which is around 4,000 words per day for just a couple of minutes of your time. And really what we're looking is for you, if you are enjoying, and we've seen plenty of comments here, do one thing. In different Facebook groups and different communities, people are talking about different AI tools and I need help with that, or like, which tool do you recommend? If you only take a few seconds, 1 minute of your time and either comment or participate in an someone was asking like a poll, hey, which tool would you recommend? If you just make a post there and say that, Outranking, I'm using Outranking and this is what it's helping me do, attach and send screenshot to, and we'll provide you guidelines how to do that. It's going to be accessible in your dashboard. But like if you attach it and then if you show 20,000 AI credits per day is how many characters you can make a day, every single day. And we'll try and do it for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. If you guys are enjoying this and it's helping build the buzz, we'll continue doing this. But for now, like for the next couple of weeks, we'll continue. All right, let's see. Do you have subscription add-ons?
Yes, we have subscription. We don't have subscription. We have one-time add-ons that you can purchase. And just that means that you can purchase one time, and then if you go over them, you can purchase again, but they roll over. Like that's what we have on top of our regular plans as an add-on. So if you are an LTD user, um, and most of the LTD community, they voted for it. So they have the rollover credits, which do not expire. And hence they are also a little on the higher side because they're not expiring, right? Like you're going to consume throughout it. And that's what we have.
Perfect. Kristen is saying, I love bragging about outranking.
Thank you.
Michael is saying one more time, how to earn 5,000 credits is once a day, submit or like comment or make a post or participate in a poll where people are talking about tools that are with SEO or producing content or outranking and their competition, and mention outranking there. Take a screenshot and submit it in your dashboard. Punkil, can you specify exactly where in dashboard people can do it?
Yes, if you just go to your learn option and you see documentation, there will be one link going up shortly, which will have earn extra credit. Just click on it and submit the link where you've done this. And you can collaborate that and submit it like, once in 10 days and submit for 10 days. That's fine too. It's no problem if you don't want to do it every day. But, simple, like I'll give you some examples of what you can do. Like we have tons of great videos around what outranking can really help you with. Share some of those, like, or comment, or just mention outranking wherever it is the right fit, not saying you go and spam anyone. But, help us spread the word. And to help us spread the word, this is a chance to like make up to 600,000 characters every month. Um, Someone asking like, can you explain why I should buy it today rather than tomorrow? I'm making the switch from Jarvis to Outranking, but the LTD, when it was introduced, the prices are going to go up eventually. Once you start like once we start getting to a point where, and this is going to happen in the next release, right? Like there's tons of new data, new information, and new guidance around how you can rank faster, how you can create better content that we consistently put in. So as soon as we come to that next milestone, we are going to increase the price. And the main reason that you should make a switch today rather than tomorrow is if you want to save 5 to 6 hours today.
Does Outranking have an affiliate program? Yes, we do. If you go to our website and then scroll to the very bottom, there is an affiliate page. Go and check it out and sign up. We actually would welcome everyone to sign up. Everyone has their friends and community or audience. Go ahead and you get your unique URL. That's the URL that you share in your community, and then this is how everyone who using to visit the website and then later sign up in the next 60 days. Those are going to be attributed to you, and you earn commissions.
Recurring.
Recurring. Okay, I said one, like, let's say you have 1 million characters. How many 2,000 word articles can you expect to produce with your 1 million characters? Let's try and do like the easiest calculation.
15 to 20. That's pretty straightforward, right? Like if you have 2,000 characters, that means that's 10,000 characters actually generated. And 10,000 means it could be reading another 10,000. And let's say if you have premium draft, it could be 30 or 50,000. Let's say on the higher side, you are like 15 or 60,000 per draft for that 2,000 character output. In that case, just times that, right? Like that's easily 15 to 20. But if you're doing a lot of research, you're writing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000. Don't expect similar numbers.
Daniel is asking, is Outranking cheaper than freelance writer?
I would absolutely say so, unless someone is willing to write a first copy for like $10 or less, then yes.
Yeah, let's do some calculations. So basically, with existing pricing, what does it come down to? Or one
A,
document?
a 2,000 word document would come down to, if by, sufficient amount of credit, would come down to less than $5 or $6. Uh, if, if that's if you're creating content at scale, and that's first draft, sure. Uh, a freelance writer would essentially need 2 to 3 hours or even 4 hours to build out this first draft. And if you consider minimum of $20 per hour, minimum of $20 per hour, if you want anything decent coming out, which is research, it's going to still cost you 80 to $100. So there's the I would not use a copywriter, or at least an I or someone. It just might be you, right? Like, who's reading through the content, going through it and adding some additional value, which is like images, examples, and stuff like that, making maybe a little personal stuff like that. But yeah, absolutely. This is going to be much, much.
Goes. David is asking, does it verify a plagiarism check?
It will. And right now we do. Outranking does support Grammarly plugin integration. We're working on native integration. So as soon as we have that, that would be awesome. You should be able to check right here. Um, shut up, Christian says like, but yeah, so it should be. It will. So right now you can either use Grammarly or whatever tool you're using. And eventually we have a platform strategy, guys. So we are going to build our integrations with as many tools as possible going further.
Can I import my own research in bullet form and have Outranking write the content? I
Yeah,
love this. This is Paul's
mentioned.
favorite feature, I think.
Yes, I use this like, when I know that something that I have in my head and I just want to kind of conceptualize it and influence the AI to write around it. I just dump my raw data with spelling mistakes, not care about it. But yeah, you can copy and paste anything from anywhere. And I'd recommend go back and look at the presentation from today where we've built out a premium draft specifically from that.
Do you have a timeline for updated WordPress plugin?
We're currently working on it. We're currently working on WordPress, and that's what's been on our mind. And it's going to be more streamlined in getting your content in and out and analyzed and outranking and stuff like. But that is still a bit far away. It needs a tons and tons of R&D, and this is by no means an easy project because we have to build out an entire API for you this use case. And what we it's being worked on currently.
John is asking, when is the new mobile friendly version is going to be live? Because he is that serious. He wants to produce a blog post during his lunch.
That's exactly. So I've been writing on my small Apple mini pad. I've been producing content on that. So that's as far as we go right now. But eventually, maybe.
For niches, can Outranking be used to write about all niches, even the ones that are little content or little searches?
Michael, and there will be plenty of people that vouch for it here that have been creating content without ranking for any particular niche. I would say absolutely any niche, which does not fight against GPT-3 quorum, is about like talking about abuse and some stuff that are just, not to be talked about, kind of like PG stuff. But besides that, you should have no problem in any niche, any topic, any new content, any new product, anything. There might be different approaches that you take to create some of this different types of content, but that's why we have 2 days, 2 week sessions where through this different niches to cater to those issues.
Regarding concepts, I wanted to ask how recent would the info that AI layer on top of GPT-3 have?
And want to stop guessing about factual. You can stop guessing right now. The data is being pulled as you create that content, and you can see the data that we pulled out, right? If it was a news item that you were creating content around, then it would pull most, recent news from here. So data is fact. The layer on top of GPT-2 that we've added is extracting facts from existing information, not making things up. So you don't have to worry about that. It's all facts.
Why does it pull wrong data sometimes?
Because the research is written probably in a different way, or your heading is misleading. It could be two different things. So if that ever happens, then first you'd want to verify if your headings are making sense to the kind of content that you're trying to pull, and if they are, and it's still pulling the wrong content, that means you can always go and check, right, like where the content was pulled from. So you can go to section builder. If you generated, you don't like something, just click on here and read through it, what it gave you. If that's not relevant, then what it gave you here is not going to be relevant. In that case, just add your own research here and then generate premium draft or extract concept.
All right, I think this is it. A few things to remind you guys. There is going to be new pricing that is going to be posted today. Number two, if you are a larger company looking to consume more than 100 documents per month, reach out to me. We'll be happy to help you out. There are a few ways that we can help with the process. Number three, there is going to be 20,000 AI characters credits added to your account every single day if you take a couple of minutes of your time and put in a poll or share a video or do something in different Facebook groups or in different, basically helping us promote, spread the word about Outranking. We are, and definitely your help is going to be very helpful. And I think that's it. Those are the three things that I wanted to make sure to talk about. What is the biggest con of Outranking?
What is the biggest con? Huh.
Wow.
It's like going to an interview question.
What is your weakness? Tell
Yeah, what is your weakness, right? Like, how do I pull one out of my sleeve when I think I'm Superman, right? Like that does not happen. But I know there's many weaknesses. Like we still need to improve our WordPress plugin, and we'll do that. That's one of the biggest requirements. I think that would pretty much be it. But we're still moving ahead of a majority of the competitors, as you can see, and read through that blog post that I shared earlier. So the only con for us right now is in terms of our own eyes as to why we want to see the product to perfection. And there are many things that we can do and we'll keep doing, but we're just not there yet, right? So one step at thanks for that question. I don't really know how to answer that.
one
Not
more I
on
would
an
add is
internet.
one more I would add is people sometimes ask about like social media. Can I create posts for social media? This is not what Outranking is for. So maybe like this
Yes,
is the one of the weaknesses that we are narrow focused on creating content for web that is created to outrank competition.
yes.
David is asking one more time, how do we get extra daily credits for commenting? Punkil, if you can show the dashboard one more time and where we're going to have this new tab.
Credit. So just click on learn and you will see learn in many places. And I'll show you one couple of places. So you'll see one more tab here, which says earn extra credit, and all the information and uploading and everything will just happen on that. It should go live in the next hour. As soon as we dropped it, we're scheduled to push it out at 12:30, but we're running over. So that's that. But even in your dashboard, there's a learn here. So it'll always tag with you. Just click on it and you can update that and on those credits. Those will be credited to you like almost immediately. Someone's on top of it, like so.
Yep. Karen is asking, can we optimize the blog written by our writers with SERPs data and keywords inside Outranking?
Absolutely, that's what many people use Outranking for as well. And what you can do is you can create a new document. So there's a few ways you can do that. Uh, New document, you can click on optimization, SEO optimization, dump your URL in, type the keyword in, and then create a document. If you don't have a URL, you can just use a traditional way of creating content, putting your, just go here, import the URL, or you can copy and paste the content in here. And then just go to optimization, go through all the steps that it's recommending for you to optimize and don't leave out, and you should be golden.
Bob is saying the biggest con is only 24 hours in a day to write. I think we got covered everything. What things do not use up credits?
Nothing around anything that you do on the screen, suggestions that you do does not cost optimization, right? Like even if you go to AI Wizard and you stuff like let's say you skip this too and you just go like this barely consumes any data. Okay, that's consumed like a few hundred characters, maybe. Not. But let's say you go here, just don't use any of the AI, right? Like if that's what you're after, then just curate your topically, click on no draft, go back, write the entire content, and then optimize it using AI. So using our utility. Even though this is using quite a bit of AI, it's not charging you for it. And that's because the AI is built into it. But that's about it.
Thomas is saying that he's a brand new user. Where should he start?
I would really recommend that you start by going to learn and going through some bootcamp sessions if you have not. If you have gone through all the bootcamp sessions, I think you'll have enough amount of information to pretty much do some amazing stuff with content writing and ranking as well at the same time. If you are like really, really, really super beginner, you can go to outranking.com. And there's a couple of videos here that you can see that you should read. And it's just 2 minutes each. This is a very quick overview of how you can create content, but you want to get granular because you want to learn. Bootcamp is the best place to be. And if you just want to get started right away, some short videos here should get you going in the next 10-15 minutes.
Alexander is questioning about the statement that Outranking is better than Jarvis and Surfer. I am curious. Any of you guys have jumped from Jarvis to use Outranking to produce your long form SEO optimized content? If you are, drop it in the chat. I think we are not suggesting anything. We know what our product is doing, but probably so people need to hear from other people, right?
I would, I would say it's an extremely bold statement that I stand by. It is better. You can go check it out, like explore through it. Yeah, sure, it's difficult. In terms of that, it's not better. And because it's equipped with so many things, right? Like it's an entire arsenal of things that you can actually do to outrank your competition. So we're focused on the end game here, not just creating content that's crunched out with no real meaning. And creating content around topical on just topics and density is very 2020 or not even 2020, 2010. I would say now it is more about value, more depth, more information, more facts, and this is what gets you closest to it. If you want to create long form content where probability runs the game and not you or facts, then other platforms are much better. And I'm not saying that outranking is better for social media, right? Like and sales copy.
Not
We're
for
never gonna
everything.
do that. Yeah, we're not gonna do sales copy, and which some other tools might be great for it. And I would recommend that you go to some of the others too for that. But for long form content, we can show you case studies we rank for. People also ask. We rank for Google SERP analysis. We rank for copywriting, right? Like there's many, many, many terms that we rank against some major competitors like SERP, like SEMrush, Moz, Href, Neil Patel, many of our competitors. That is not easy to do with an authority of a site that was just brought up a year ago. With our competitors having 10,000 backlinks on a single page, we're outranking them. So there's something there, right? Like our guidance is, absolutely phenomenal in terms of going about crafting that and optimizing content. So yes, it's a bold statement, but I stand by it.
We have few people drop in here that they've been using Jarvis or Phrase or Shortly AI. All right, everyone, this has been an video. If you have any questions specifically about your account, email support@outranking.io. Join our Facebook group. Learn more about how you can get 20,000 AI credits every single day for the next couple of weeks, probably a month. So you log in into learn your dashboard and then click learn, and then we'll email everyone about that as well. If you don't know how to find it, you could just again email support. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you all for coming today. This was a great session. And we'll see you in the group if you haven't joined. Join our Facebook group so we can stay connected.